Every few months, well, every parliamentary session, we seem to be visited by some new legislative horror coming down the track towards us. In 2013 to 14, it was this notorious gagging law, which has just been passed. And I can't remember the long name of it, but basically it enables the police, who are obviously at the interface between the legislators and the public, to come and implement the gagging law in any public situation on the streets or anywhere in the public arena where somebody could be perceived as being abusive, intrusive, in any way offensive to the state, maybe. They could be arrested and they could be basically charged and prosecuted and locked up. So now, coming down the track of the family court system is a new threat, I think, to family life and to parental rights and to children's ability to stay with their parents. And that is this so-called Cinderella law, which is going to be introduced in the Queen's speech this coming November. And again, the Cinderella law, I can't remember the full wording of that law, but basically the law is focused on this issue of emotional abuse. Emotional abuse, obviously, being perpetrated for the purposes of this new law by parents, not necessarily by public authorities or the state, but by parents, so they will be targeted. And it ties in with the experience of all our parents who have had negative run-ins with the family court system and have been charged, or the reason for the action taken against them by the local authority in the form of social services and the children's services has been risk of possible future emotional abuse. So emotional abuse is the buzzword, and it's the theme, the focus of this new law. And I fear that this will ramp up the rationale for local authorities to come and intervene in family life, because emotional abuse can take many forms, and we can be very sure that the local authorities, children's services and the social services will find examples of emotional abuse going on all sides in all kinds of families, and many more children possibly being removed, and that's what I fear.
It's actually quite dangerous indeed, as you point out.
Yeah.
It's a way of legitimizing the taking of the children. And currently already 84 of 100 parents who were asked were given the reason of future emotional risk. Now, this is just terrible. If this now becomes a criminal offense, so a reason to put people into prison. I mean, maybe the idea is to encourage the UK's economy by building prisons, but it's certainly not right. It has nothing to do with human rights.
In any negative social situation, somebody is always making money, aren't they?
On top of it, that's for sure. That's why ultimately it's the money system that needs to be revamped.
So this is more utilities to be run by public and private corporate interests to make money.
Well, I mean, ironically,
prisons are going to be run privately from now on, aren't they? Everything is being corporatized and privatized, so there's profit in everything. There's profit in hospitals not working, there's profit in prisons being full of overflowing with people and new prisons needing to be built. There's profit in people having mental illness and, having drug addiction and all sorts of things, isn't there? There's always profit for some sector of our increasingly corporate society.
When Corporations Rule the World is the book that came out already, I think, 1996. And that's really what we're experiencing. But 2014 is the anniversary of not only First World War, but also the Bradbury Pound. And that is the UK answer to the whole monetary problem. If there was enough money around, we wouldn't have to create all of these incentives and ridiculous ways of using money as a way to make happen bad things rather than good things. Well, that's another video.
We always hope that the worst won't happen.
Yes.
That the laws will be just and reasonable, and that there will be enough people in that place in Parliament to give them a rough ride all the way through their passage through that place. But we still fear.
My
That the-
husband, who used to be Assistant Director General at the Greater London Council behind us, said the government always does as much as they can do to get what they can get away with it.